Very good evening, children. So, in the last video, I taught you the chapter. I gave the basic explanation of the chapter, the last lesson from 12th CBSE Flamingo book. I taught you in that chapter the theme, the mood, the tone, the genre, other things. So many things we discussed in that chapter. Even we have talked about the writers too. But I didn't give the explanation in that video. So I can actually add that video to my descriptive part. You can just refer to that so that you will come to the basic information about that chapter. Today I am going to give you the basic summary of that chapter. I hope you will like it. Before I start, I want you to please subscribe to my channel and turn on your bell notification so that you can get continuously such videos, such informative, some interesting videos on English literature, English grammar, English speaking, and other courses. Okay, so let's start. Last lesson, as I told you in that video, that it is a story of mental trauma of the people who are being captivated or enslaved or colonized by other country. They impose their language, their culture, their belief upon others, uh, those bigotry activity actually leave a greater impact upon those who suffer from that. So let's start. So story actually has a persona in the form of French. The persona means basically the character basically created by the mental approach of the writer, of the author. So here in this chapter, Alphonse Daudet, who is himself the writer of the chapter, actually yeah, getting involved in the story in the form of friend who is just 9 to 10 year old, who is a student, who studies in the same school in which the story's protagonist, Mr. Hamel, teaches. Okay, so let's begin. So Frank actually, just 9 or 10 year old boy is going to school. That day he was unable to go to school, unwilling to go to school, sorry. And he was unwilling. Why? Because the teacher has given him the participle laws, rules of French language, which he couldn't memorize, which he couldn't learn. So he was under the fear whether what he would say if the teacher asked if the teacher asked him uh, those participle rules. He didn't hardly he knew hardly anything about the rules. He didn't even read them, revise them. He remembered earlier times when actually the teacher asked him, he hardly spoke anything about those rules. So that is one of the reasons. Another reason that he got late that day. That is another reason he was unwilling to go to school. And the third reason is that that was a very beautiful summer time. It was the morning time, so he was enjoying those beautiful chirping of the birds on the edge of the jungle. On the other hand, in those, on the edge of that jungle, he actually could hear the parade, the drill that Brazilian soldiers were having. So all these things were so much enchanting, engrossing, captivating to him that he actually became completely unwilling to go to school. Though he had to go to school, so he started taking bigger steps towards the school. He started even running to go to school to reach school ultimately. So when he was going to school, on the way there was a bulletin board where all the news of the battle from the battlefield coming, and that day he could see that there were so many people gathering around the bulletin, and he was not surprised to see that gathering because he knew that only bad news are coming from the battlefield for the long time. So he was not reluctant. He was reluctant to stop there and to get to know what actually the new news is. So we were just going through there. Uh, uh, in the meantime, one of the actually the man from that bulletin board whose name was Watcher, who was a blacksmith. He actually came and interrupted him, asked him not to run so fast to the school, as there is a plenty of time to reach the school, which actually seemed so much, funny and revolutionary to French, as he was already late. So he thought that Mr. Watcher was just pulling his leg by saying so. So he didn't stop. He just kept actually running. He was galloping towards the school, and as he reached to the garden of the school, there he was surprised to see that there was a complete silence, as it remained on Sundays. As Sunday was the day of holiday, so there is no voice, there is no noise. She was surprised and completely amazed how it is possible that there is so much silence. He gets himself very close to the school, and he just peeked into the window, and he could see the teacher was wearing very special dress which she used to wear on the special occasions. Students were sitting on their desk. So that that day was so much unusual that the teacher was not actually having his actually a stick that actually used to have the punishment of the students. That did his stick was lying on the table, and he was just taking steps to and fro in the school. So as soon as he got the back of the teacher, he jumped into the school through the window and sat on his desk. Okay, teacher saw him, and teacher very calmly said to French that it's good that Mr. French you had come, otherwise we were going to start without you. Okay, then he looked back, and what he saw on back benches, that the villagers were sitting, and that was so much surprising, so much shocking to him why the villagers were sitting there. So after that, the teacher asked Friends to stand up, and he asked him if he could memorize the participle rules. So obviously he stood up, but he couldn't answer anything. Like he could speak hardly any word, and that actually disappointed the teacher. He didn't retribute him that day, but asked him to sit down. And he was so much sad that day that he said that it was not your fault that you couldn't learn your own language. It was my own fault as well, your parents' fault as well, that we kept actually putting the things for tomorrow, and we didn't get that sufficient, that convenient time that we can learn our own mother tongue. And what he was saying all these things because a few minutes after he announced that it was the last lesson of French language in this school, and that was so much shocking, so much appalling, so much blasting in the year of French. Suddenly, those books who used to be the new songs, used to be the dust for him, started actually appearing as if the lost friend. The teacher who used to be so much creepy, so much spooky earlier, he was feeling so bad about for the teacher as well. So all these things were going on, and teacher was speaking a lot of things about French language. As he said once that never actually lose the hold of your mother tongue. It is just like a key during your slavery, during a prison. And he actually expressed his regret not to teach French language to friends and other such students, as he held responsible upon everyone else, upon himself, French students, and the parents as well. As actually he said that he used to have so many holidays, as he used to go for fishing, and children did not prefer to come to school. Instead, they actually prefer to play and just roam here and there. Even the villagers didn't send their children to the school. Instead, they actually sent their children to the fields for the work. So all these things he was saying, and he was so much disappointed for not doing so. He was so much disappointed. In the meantime, the proceedings of the class started. First, there was a written test, then there was a spoken test, then there was a reading test. So during all these tests, there was a deep silence. There was a pin drop silence in the school. You could hear only the sketches, the sound of the sketches, the pens which were running on the pages. There was a fluttering of the paper who were moving so briskly because of the wind, and you could hear the beetle's noise and the pigeons chirping, and French actually innocently thinks whether these beetles, these pigeons would speak in the German language tomorrow onwards, what would happen. He was thinking everything, and at the same time he was observing the teacher, his behavior, his conduct. That day in the class, he observed that the teacher was so much disappointed. He was staring at the garden, those trees which he himself grew at very at the actually his arrival, and now those trees have those plants have just turned into the grown up trees, and those vines who were actually hanging over the windows. He was actually just watching those stampered windows, the stampered walls, which were the part of his life once. He got distracted by the he got distracted by those sounds of the boxes in which his sister, the teacher's sister, was actually tracking the luggage that was continuously distracting him. He was sober, he was somber, he was in great grief and sorrow. In the meantime, the bell rang, alluding alluding that it has got struck 12 and it was a time to dismiss the school. So he just asked everyone to leave the school. Okay, so after that everyone went away and the teacher himself stood up on his table and looked so tall that day, and he was just writing farewell French language in French language, that is Viva French. Okay, and after that he didn't say anything, he just actually gave a give a hand posture to actually seeking their departure, their actually leaving the school. So here the chapter ended, and ultimately we come to know how the teacher was, how actually everyone else, everyone associated with the French language, with that school, whether it's teacher, Hamel, villagers, everyone was so much sad and actually grieved that they couldn't believe that it was the last day at the school. Okay, tomorrow onwards they were forced to learn German language, speak in that language. It was really heartbreaking for them. I'm sure you would have understood the chapter. If you want me to give the description of more chapters, you just can send it to my comment section. Uh, you will have the more chapter to be explained by me. ओके आई एम श्योर देखते रहिए मेरे इस तरह की वीडियो को और नोटिफिकेशन को ऑन कर लीजिए एंड यू कैन send me advices to the comment section which is open for you. Thank you very much. Thank you.